Okay, I've gone over applying the Flex Wax and the ceramic spray coating, and because of my last video, I decided that the ceramic spray does not need a damp wipe, but the Flex Wax does. Probably because, and this is only my thoughts, my opinion, is that since the Flex Wax can be used as a drying aid, in which it's highly diluted by water, but yet still leaves a decent protection behind, or as a spray on rinse off type of protection, which is even more diluted by water and still leaves some protection behind. That's probably got a lot more active ingredients in it, which would explain why the damp wipe is necessary. Okay, so I showed how to apply it on the initial spray into the towel, 2 sprays, and go over the area with multiple passes. You probably do like 3-4 passes over the same panel just to make sure that you've got total coverage. Now, when it comes to removing it, you need to take the same concentration. You can't just wet wipe and buff. I mean, it's not quite that easy. When you do your wet wipe, and I've finally discovered a use for those ShamWow towels I got from my father-in-law. They're more like a felt type. Used dry, they suck. They don't absorb very well. They are not good for removing wax or doing much of anything. However, once you get them wet and really wring them out and they are damp, they are outstanding for the wet wipe for the Flex Wax. They are also outstanding if your windows are just barely dirty, or you want to make a light pass over your glass, to use them as the wet wipe / cleaner using just water on glass, following up with a glass or drying towel. Now, a product I just picked up the other day, I've had these before in the past. It's called a Meguiar's water magnet. It's microfiber, it's got waffle weave, runs about $10. And as a drying towel, perhaps if you do a flood rinse and use a drying aid, it works pretty well. But really, it's kind of thin. It doesn't hold a whole lot of water. But used as the dry buff towel for the Flex Wax, it works pretty darn good because it's got more grip to it than the dedicated glass towel I was using a short time ago. It will take the wax off. Of course, by the time you get the wet wipe done, there's barely any left on the car, just dampness. But it really excels at taking that off. And what I mean by using the same dedication on the wet wipe is that you need to not just wipe it down and be done. You need to deliberately wipe down an area until you see all the high spots broken down or removed. If you look here on the top of the fender, you can see how thick the wax is, and on the hood in some of the places, even using a single spray per towel, per panel, and several wipes to spread it out real good, it's still semi-thick. So you will need a good wet wipe to knock it off. And what I mean by deliberately doing a wet wipe is coming up and not just making a pass, because there's still high spots here, here, here. You need to deliberately wipe down the panel several passes until those high spots are gone. And you can see a little bit of water left because this towel was really wrung out. You don't want or need a whole lot of water in it. Now that I've intentionally made several passes on it, I come in with the drying towel, and the finish is perfect. There's no residue, no streaking, no high spots left, just completely clear, glowing, reflective, glossy, all that good stuff. Just a quick tip for when using the Flex Wax, since it does need a wet wipe. Just make sure that as intense as you are when you apply it, you're just as intense when you do your wet wipe and then the dry wipe. If you deliberately do those things and concentrate on what you're doing, you will have absolute success in using the Flex Wax. See you next time.